it's in my. Okay, so before I go further, you guys need to know what SDLC means, right? So SDLC means a software development life cycle. It's a model. It's a conceptual framework describing all activities in a software development project from planning to maintenance, right? So as you guys can see, there is like an arrow over here and there. So we are actually just now we are trying to discuss and mapping between one and another. So SDLC and also MyGov, there is some most major of it is having a similarity between one and another, right? So if let me just bring the table here for better visualization. So as you guys can see that MyGov EA and also SLDC. So the mapping would be the stage 1 initiate to planning, stage 2 assess to analysis, stage 3 is define and design, and stage 4 build, operate, and for SDLC is development and testing and integration. Stage 5 would be monitor and maintenance, right? So I will call Shariza to explain further on the similarity and also the differences.
Okay, I will explain on the similarity and differences. For the team member, please add if I miss anything. Okay, in terms of the similarities, what we can see is actually the process is quite similar, just like Anwar go through just now. So for example, at stage 1, we define the scope and then we assess and then we define and design. The process is similar, but the thing that we design or we assess is different. So we go to the differences. In terms of initiation, okay, it's similar because we execute the planning stage. And then, okay, in terms of stage 2, on the assessment for MyGov EA, we assess the as-is architecture, but in SDLC, we assess the requirement for the software. Okay, and then in stage 3, define. In MyGov EA, we define the target or to-be architecture, but in SDLC, we define the to-be system. We define the how the system will look like, what infra to be used, things like that. Okay, and then in stage 4, build and operate. So in SDLC, in MyGov EA, we develop the blueprint in terms of the documentation and all that. But in SDLC, we develop the system. This is where we do programming to build the software. And then stage 5, monitor. In MyGov EA, we record the successful procedure or SOP. And in SDLC, it's after the system deployment, we do the operation and support. And also if there is any change to the system, that one is under the maintenance stage. That's all.
To add to Shariza's point just now, SDLC look further on the development and manufacturing of the software system in comparison to MyGov EE, where we actually looking into the blueprint of the whole architecture of the organization. So that's basically the major differences between both.
Okay. That's all, Group 3?
Yeah.
So far that's all.
Okay. I have a question. It's just that if you look at any SDLC solution or any development, they will have this specific testing and integration, right? Or some already beyond that, they perform the IVNV, independent verification and validation. Okay, so do you think that in any EA process, they need to have it explicitly, or how? Which part is the best to perform this kind of testing? Or no need at all?
Okay, let me try to answer your questions first, Doctor. So I think the question is actually falls under stage 3 and stage 4, where basically SDLC will perform, right? Their framework on basically how to develop the best software system, basically what is the procedure from A to Z, right? And then after that, EA as the mother will collect the procedure from SDLC department, right? And then to see and see whether the design can actually be improved or what. So if there's any improvement, then they can suggest to SDLC and they will need to go and testing, right? So it will go between 4 and 3. So if it is it that there is a future state of improvement, then it will send back to stage 4 for them to testing. If that is possible, then they will record that and send it back to EA. If not successful, then they will tell EA back, what you have suggested is not successful, so we will still maintain with the current design that we had for SDLC.
Okay, is that the case if the project ties with the EA? What if the EA itself? Do you think when you about to design or develop the EA, you need a specific testing phases or no need?
I don't think we need to, because EA is a blueprint or documentation. So the validation or the verification will be during the implementation later.
Yes, that's the answer. Okay. In EA, we don't have to create a particular specific testing, or you don't have to create a test script, unlike any system development. Okay, or in fact, if you do the BI, you still do some part of testing just to test either your model when you produce the dashboard is working fine or not, right? And then same goes for the encrypt. Once you have the model, and just when you're about to execute the model and integrate with other model, when you do the encrypt, you need to have the testing to make sure you get the right data. But for EA, there's no specific testing. We consider the level of verification is just at the sign off of by the owners of the process, owner of those technology, owner of those data. Either to prove it right or wrong. Remember the question that we discussed, how to trust your EA. So that's it. There's no specific testing, because once you have designed this blueprint, people will adopt it and use it in your organization, and you will make the improvement from time to time. So it's a living documentation, or it's a living solution. There's no stages say this is correct, this is wrong, that's it. No, in EA it's not works like that. Okay, so overall, thank you, Group 3. Okay, let's look at Group 4. Group 4 talking about the project life cycle. How would you say the similarity and differences?
Okay, Assalamualaikum, good afternoon.